Hello, people. My name is Torrance Davis. This is Video Game Warzone, episode 395. We are approximately, after the show, we'll be 5 episodes away from episode 400. I couldn't be more happier. I couldn't be more happier. So, Jeezy Cam, we always start the show with the Jeezy Cam. I'm currently, I forgot to load up Discord, so I'm loading up Discord and getting into the channel so people can talk to me. What the fuck is this? Can you unmute me? I want to say something. Oh, I don't remember that. Okay. I have a bunch of ducks and I'm getting them in a row. Hold on. There we go. Okay, I think we're all set up. We're all set up to start the show. I got a couple topics I want to discuss this week. I don't have... Oh, somebody's already in. Hello, person, whoever's watching you. Mixer's down because I have to reconnect to Mixer. And I don't have the latest and greatest Restream app. So... hold on a second. Download for Windows. Here we go. I'm downloading the latest and greatest Restream app so I can get that going while I'm doing the show, and then we'll talk about games and stuff and pop culture like we do every week. So, give me a second here, and we'll get started. As you know, the internet blew up this week when they announced the release date for The Last of Us 2, The Last of Us. So it's going to be a 2020 release, as I thought it would be. And I said this a couple shows ago. I said that Sony will have nothing until 2020. So they're saying February 21st, 2020 on PS4. That's also about the time that they're going to fully announce the PS5. So I'm willing to bet they'll announce the PS5 and show more of The Last of Us 2 during that time. Because, you know, February is their month. That's when they do it. I would like them to do another February reveal of the new PlayStation. But, you know, next year's the year for new consoles. It's already around the corner, people. Aren't you excited? I'm not. It's right around the corner. New consoles next year. Sony's last game of this generation will be The Last of Us 2. And it comes out February 21st, 2020. And it'll keep everybody happy until the PlayStation 5 comes out. I'm pretty sure there'll be a PlayStation 5 version of this game as well. Just like they did when they transitioned from the PlayStation 3 to the PlayStation 4. They made a PlayStation 4 version that was 60 frames per second. But, so the biggest issue here is they had an announcement and said that they decided to take, I wouldn't say take the multiplayer out, but they decided that Last of Us 2 is so friggin' big that there's no way they can put the multiplayer in it. So, a lot of people were upset with that because there's a lot of people who actually enjoy the multiplayer. They like it. So, people were wondering, why are you taking out one of the best parts of the game? Yes, the single player is great, but once I'm done playing the single player, I want to play the multiplayer. It was one of the best multiplayer experiences that Naughty Dog has created. And I'll tell you, while some of those, hey, what's up, Renee? Some of those Uncharted experiences were kind of fun. They were kind of ridiculous and annoying. Last of Us took third-person action multiplayer, and they slowed it down. It actually made you think. It made you be strategic, and it was fun to play. It was fun to set up booby traps. It was a great fucking game. I remember we used to play after the Warzone. When that came out, we were playing after the Warzone almost every night or every week. We get together after the show and play, so it was pretty dope. What's up, Double Milo? Milo says, I don't know about next generation. I'm going to try my luck with Stadia. Dude, don't do any of that shit. Get yourself a gaming PC. Come into my camp. The whole problem with new generations of everything is everybody thinks that, if you're a gamer, most of you haven't been around gaming as long as me, but if you've been gaming long enough, you get into this habit, new consoles come out, I have to buy new consoles. It's a new generation, I gotta buy new consoles. You don't have to. Get yourself a badass PC. You don't have to buy the new consoles. Sit around and Big Boss says PC shit overrated. Sit around and watch and wait and see how the generation unfolds. There are a lot of people that didn't like this generation that much. This generation didn't have the impact that last generation did, because last generation we jumped into this mode where we had this great online and graphics were just like, oh shoot, did you see that? So we were seeing all this new stuff for the first time, and we were having these new experiences, and we were seeing great fucking games that we had never seen before. Ruben says Uncharted 2 is my favorite for multiplayer. Out of all the Uncharted games, yes, Uncharted 2 was the best. Mikey says there were more games. There were more games last gen, but remember, last gen lasted longer too. But you had things like Skyrim, You had things like The Last of Us. You had things like Uncharted, Halo came into its own last gen. Gears of War basically started last gen. If you think about it, Gears of War was the first big, oh my God, I have to get a next gen console game. Last gen. So there was a lot of great things that happened. I don't think a lot of great things happened this generation. There were some great games, but I don't think a lot of great things happened. This generation, if you think about it, the way this generation started, they first depended on remakes and they didn't call them remakes, remasters. It depended on remasters to survive. The first 2 years of this generation was all about fucking remasters. Case in point, Last of Us had a remaster right away. There was all these friggin' remasters. They weren't doing anything new, anything engaging and exciting. They were doing remasters. Oh, look at the graphics now. So that's how this generation was basically found. It was on let's remaster this game from last gen and make another $60 off of it. It was bullshit. While there were a couple of gems this generation, still it relied on the nostalgia of last generation. GTA 6 or GTA 5 was more of GTA 4, what we loved about GTA 4. Better single player, better multiplayer, but it was more of what we loved about the game. The Forzas got better, what else did we get? We got better God of War game. We got better Tomb Raider games. It was all about the nostalgia of last gen. Before we know it, who knows? There might be a new Skyrim sequel out. I mean, that's what this generation was about. So it didn't have the impact. But there were some cool things like, backwards compatibility, crossplay, things that were needed. And it took the entire fucking generation for these fools to get crossplay. They could have had crossplay working in 2013. They could have had crossplay working, and it would have made this generation so much better. But whatever. They got it now, so I can't complain. Anyway, Sony and Naughty Dog announced that there's going to be no multiplayer in The Last of Us 2. And the internet just friggin' exploded. You had ponies fighting ponies because you got, hey, it's the real D White, motherfuckers. I'm early tonight. Where's my popcorn? So you had PlayStation dudes who love single player games and can't stand multiplayer games fighting against PlayStation dudes that love multiplayer games. Single player dudes are saying, well, it didn't need multiplayer. Now they can focus on the single player, because I don't understand this they can focus on the single player now that there's no multiplayer. What do you mean they can focus on the single player? I don't know what goes on in these guys' heads that thinks that when you're developing a game, that if you're doing a multiplayer component, that you're taking away from the single player campaign. And in terms of Naughty Dog, case in point, arguably one of the best games of last generation was Uncharted 2. Guess what it had? Multiplayer. Not only was it the best game of last generation, arguably, but it was the first Uncharted game with multiplayer. And everybody loved it. And if you look at the multiplayer in all the other Uncharted games, arguably, Uncharted 2 had the best multiplayer of all the Uncharted games. So when these fools sit up here and say that, if you have a multiplayer, and they talk about multiplayer tacked on, like, how do you tack on a multiplayer? Like, what is there, a tack on switch in the API? Tack on. Like, how do you tack on multiplayer? Do these people understand what it takes to build a multiplayer component to your game? How can you tack it on? I don't even understand that. But the fact that they think that no multiplayer means they can focus more on the single player absolutely makes no fucking sense. No sense whatsoever. I don't get it. You know, I think what happened here, you know, they're telling us one thing, and after all the tweets, you know, on Twitter and the internet blew up, they come out and say, well, look, we're not doing multiplayer because The Last of Us 2 is our most ambitious game ever, and it's our longest game ever. Longest meaning it's probably going to be a 15-hour game. It's our longest game ever. So, you know, it was too big for us to have multiplayer. What they're basically telling you is that it took so much time and so much resources to do the single player that they didn't have the team to build the multiplayer. That's one. Or the multiplayer is actually being developed, but it's not going to be finished by February 2020 or whenever the gold date is. So let's assume this game's supposed to go gold in January. If it goes gold in January, the multiplayer has to go gold with it. I don't think the multiplayer is going to be ready. Now, there was a tweet on social media about Sony and Naughty Dog hiring a multiplayer programmer for The Last of Us 2, which is probably true. It could have started the multiplayer and it wasn't working out and they just canned it. But they're basically saying that there's going to be some iteration of multiplayer in the future from Naughty Dog. And they were very vague about whether it's going to be Last of Us 2 DLC or they're going to do what they did with Uncharted Chloe and just make another whole separate game that's Last of Us 2 multiplayer and make you pay $60 for it or $40 or whatever. They were very vague about it. But I think the big issue here is that if they want to release The Last of Us 2 in February, they can't put the multiplayer with it. If they were to do the multiplayer, I think they would have to push the game back till like April or something. That's just my best guess. Emery said, maybe Doom was the pinnacle or Spider-Man as far as hype goes. When Destiny 2, Anthem, and Fallout shit hold, it killed a lot of momentum. Ruben says, this gen has been shit for new IPs and releasing complete games. Yep. Borderlands 3 for PC is still jacked up. I ended up getting the Xbox version for a couple reasons. My friend can only play on Xbox, and they don't have the crossplay feature in yet. And the real Divide says, oh shit. He says, Emery says, Last of Us had fun multi, hide and seek with shivs in a junkyard was kind of cool. They think the multi-team gets rolled back into the main game so they can do more man hours of work on the single player. No, I don't think so. I see. I guess, okay, maybe they do think that, but usually you have a single player team and a multiplayer team. So if they had problems hiring single player people and they started pulling from the multi, I don't know. I just think these people that think that multiplayer is tacked on or it takes away from the single player, I think they're kind of stupid. I really do. You know, multiplayer or not, it doesn't make the single player game better. It just does not. It has nothing to fucking do with it. Like, oh, well, this level's not going to be as big as it was supposed to be because they started working on the multiplayer portion of the game, so we made the level smaller in the single player game. Oh, well, there's not as many weapons in the game because we had multiplayer in it. Like, it's really just fucking stupid. With all the internet and all the wikis and all the knowledge that people should have from gaming this entire generation and previous generations, you should know that there's no fucking way that a single player mode of a game is going to be better because there's no multiplayer. It doesn't make any fucking sense. That's like saying if there was no single player, the multiplayer would be better. Doesn't make a lot of sense, does it? Imagine if multiplayer dudes were saying, man, this is stupid. They shouldn't even have single player. It should be multiplayer only. You know, remember when they took the single player out of Call of Duty? It really didn't make the multiplayer better. It just meant you didn't have to play a single player game. Ruben says, dumbass fanboy logic has ruined this gen of gaming. Hope it changes next gen. It ruined this gen and last gen, Ruben. That means it's never going to change. And the next gen is just going to be as bad. Emery says, at the very least, it has to divide testing crews up. Well, testing, yeah. Well, yeah, testing. Well, no, and I can tell you from experience, from doing game testing, knowing game testing, they don't have to divide the testing crews up because the testing crews test everything. They test all the single-player components. They test all the multiplayer components. And they also use the actual fan base of the game to test their multiplayer. So, you know, when they have those server stress tests and everything. But the way testing works, they have a huge team of testers. One dude I know, if you've read my book, Matt Jones, he used to do game testing. They'd work 36 hours straight to get a game out. So they didn't have to divide the testing crew at all. They just put them to work. Ruben says it takes 3 to 5 years to make. He says in games taking 3 to 5 years to make doesn't work. They need more releases to keep up with gamers. Well, you know, coming from a period of time where a new Tuesday, every week you'd go to the store looking for new games and there wasn't new games, and you were lucky to get 1 or 2 games a month. I don't want to go back to that. However, in support of what Ruben just said, I wish companies wouldn't rush out games super fast because they want to make a release date or they're looking to make a certain amount of money before the year's over. Like EA forces these fucking games out because they want to make a certain amount of dollars before the end of the year. That's why a lot of shit comes out before the holidays. It doesn't work. What's up, Renee? Big Boss says, if you like roguelike games, you're going to be happy as fuck. I won't pay full price for a single player mode. That's from Renee. Big Boss says, wow, that's facts. There was a lot of remakes. Yeah, when you think about it in retrospect, there was a fuck ton of remasters at the beginning of this generation because Sony and Microsoft didn't know what the fuck to do. And none of their fucking third parties knew what the fuck to do. Actually, I shouldn't say Sony and Microsoft because they weren't as bad with the remasters as the third parties were. Third parties were looking to get in and make a quick buck. And they were looking to put something out there because they knew people were sick of the PS3 and the 360. And if they bought a console, if they were like the first two, like PS4 sold 1 million, Xbox sold 1 million right away. That was the closest those two consoles were ever in sales. It was like right after they came out, they both sold 1 million really quick. So you got 2 million gamers out there. These third parties like, well, remaster something to put it out there so we can make people happy because they're going to be looking for games. So just give them something. And they would remaster these games and people would go out and fucking buy them. Go, oh, look at the graphics. You know, it's like, it's so fucking stupid. The whole mentality of look at the graphics, the look at the graphics mentality. I'm spending $60 motherfucking dollars for a remaster, even 40 for new graphics. It's like, oh my God. This is when I look at the PC and I'm like, that'll never fucking happen on the PC. As a matter of fact, most of those remasters that came out, there was a lot of them that were free on the PC if you already owned the previous game. You know? Kai Godson says, Ghost Recon even has multiplayer, and that game's going to be huge. Ghost Recon, multiplayer. The Division, multiplayer. Fucking Crackdown even had multiplayer. What's up, Saris? Crackdown had a whole multiplayer mode. You know, say what you want about that game. It came out. It was released with a single player and a multiplayer. You know, what else recently? The last Halo game had both. I can't think of any. Help me out here. Besides Uncharted 4, help me. What Sony first-party games came with multiplayer this generation? Besides, so we had the first Killzone game had it. I guess Gran Turismo has it. But Horizon doesn't have it. God of War doesn't have it. Spider-Man doesn't have it. Help me out, guys. I know there's some ponies watching the show. Well, it's MLB. Yeah, that's a sports game. So, yeah, that better have fucking multiplayer. But, I mean, come on, help me out here. What first-party Sony games came with multiplayer this generation? I don't think there was a lot. Knack? Did Knack have co-op or something? I don't really consider co-op multiplayer. Gears of War from Microsoft. That shipped with single-player and multiplayer campaign. Multiplayer. But, you know, Microsoft's all about multiplayer, so that goes without question. But what fucking Sony games this generation came with multiplayer? I mean, if you look at all the games they released, there's not a lot that came with multiplayer. And I have a lot of those. I actually have a lot of Sony's first-party exclusives. There's not a lot of them that came with multiplayer. Look at the chat's dead. Nobody can fucking think of it. Big Boss says there ain't no games this gen. None. He said, "Fuck this gen." I mean, Freddie, you got 700 games. I mean, I don't get it. Let's see what people are saying on Discord. So
yeah, it's a lot of single player shit.
Emery, I wonder why the Discord. I'm only getting. I wonder why I don't get Discord chat over here. That's stupid. So Emery says, this gen got ruined by stupid people who think the Joker movie will cause riots and shootings like the Gotham TV show and think a character with big tits is toxic patriarchy. Everything is being second-guessed. The other way it got ruined was the promise of free money from whales and microtransactions. Ruben says, remasters is what I'm talking about. Make new IPs. Correct. Emery says, Borderlands 3 is calling midgets tinks because midgets is offensive. I'm 5'7". You call me a midget, it isn't nice. You call me a tink, I'm probably going to throw tools at you. I don't even care what it means. I just don't like the sound of it. So if you go from midget to tink, you won't offend people? Smooth move, Randy. Movies have the same problem. Ruben, they are making a live-action remake of Lady and the Tramp, and by live-action remake, I mean CGI, so they're remaking a cartoon of an old cartoon, so it's more real life. That's what they did with The Lion King. Then Ruben says, new console on the way, and The Last of Us 2 hasn't released, or Final Fantasy 7 or Shenmue. Waited a whole gen for the... Oh, shit! No Shenmue 3. No Shenmue 3, no Final Fantasy 7 yet. But Square has been known to announce a Final Fantasy game early in a generation and not release it till the next generation. Case in point, Final Fantasy 15, which was originally a PlayStation exclusive. And when I told people it was going to come out for Xbox, they all laughed at me. Who's laughing now? Who's laughing now? Your glorious... What did they call that game before it was Final Fantasy 15?
They went crazy over that shit.
I think it was Final Fantasy Pony. PlayStation exclusive. Ha, ha, ha. And the shit never came out. And I said, I talked to the fucking producer really quick at E3. And I said, is it coming out for Xbox? And he didn't give me a definitive answer. I think he said we were looking into it or whatever. Nobody fucking believed me. Like, how are you going to run into a Square guy at E3? And why would some Japanese Square dude talk to you? He talked to me. That's how I found out. That's how I knew it was coming out for Xbox. What the fuck was the name of the Final Fantasy game before it was 15, Freddie?
Before it was 15?
Nobody can even remember the fucking name.
So fucking many of them.
Now that it's coming out for Xbox, it won't be as good because they have to shift their resources to make it on another console. You know, and I'm just like,
Thirteen.
it was called Final Fantasy Versus. It was called Final Fantasy Versus.
Oh
To,
yeah, there you
to
go.
me, I was like, oh, they're making a Final Fantasy fighting game? You know? So Final Fantasy Versus was PlayStation exclusive, and I said, yo, is Final Fantasy Versus coming out for 362? And I can't even remember exactly what he told me. He didn't say no. And I think he said we were discussing it, and I had mentioned it on the Warzone way back then. No, but everybody laughed at me. They laughed at me, Freddie. They laughed at me. They thought I was crazy. And I said, it's going to come out for the Xbox. I said, there's no way they're spending all this money developing this game and it's not going to come out for the Xbox. It's just business, okay? There's no reason for Square to make an exclusive PlayStation game. There's no fucking reason. They tried it with Xbox, and look what happened. Last remnant, you know? So, anyway, so Emery says, Shenmue 3 got in trouble for going Epic Store exclusive, and now Steam says they won't take any game with more than a one. Good. If you don't sign up in 1 month, you don't sign up for Steam at all. I didn't know about that. That's like news. I didn't know that. So I'm jumping around here because I want to express my discontent that Borderlands 3 is exclusive to the Epic Store. Now, I have no issue with Borderlands 3 being exclusive to the Epic Store in general. The problem is, I own Borderlands 2 on Xbox. I own Borderlands 2 and all the motherfucking DLC on PC, on Steam. I just want to keep that series of games in Steam. So I figured, okay, so Epic's going to get their 30-day exclusivity. That's not a big deal. I didn't really care about that. Then when I looked deep into it, I found out that that game, Borderlands 3, would not be available on Steam till 2020 motherfucking 20. Are you fucking kidding me? How much did they pay them for that exclusivity? Epic doesn't have anything to do with Take-Two. How much did they pay Take-Two to have that exclusive on their Epic Store? Just for PC gamers, mind you. It's not like Xbox and PlayStation. It's just PC gamers. Fuck you, Steam. We're going to put it on our new store. And typically, if a company releases a store like Uplay is Ubisoft, I don't mind buying Ubisoft games on Uplay. You know, I don't mind. I don't have to get it on Steam. I can buy it on Uplay. I don't mind buying EA games on EA's app. Okay. But what the fuck does Epic make? Fortnite. Okay, so I got Fortnite. What else you got? You know? You're not doing Gears anymore. So you're going to take fucking Borderlands 3, a third-party multi-platform game that you don't own, and you're going to make some stupid ass, you're going to throw some money at them to keep it exclusive for the Epic Store? For over a year till fucking 2020? What? So, fuck you all. I'm playing that bullshit on console. I don't even give a shit anymore. So, yeah, I'm pretty pissed off at that. I'm pretty fucking pissed off. I'm glad Steam says, fuck you motherfuckers. If you don't let us have it after 30 days or whatever, you can fucking keep it. You're never going to see the light of day on Steam. I'm glad they're doing that. That's some good news, Emery. I didn't even fucking know about that. Ruben says, Gameageddon coming in February. Gameageddon is now, man. I also want to talk about my Call of Duty Modern Warfare impressions, as I did play the beta, so I will be talking about that later. But
I have Ghost of Recon's beta.
Oh, you got the beta? How is it compared to the other one?
It's different, but it's still fun.
Yeah,
it's a lot. It's like you're. I like it because you're by yourself, and it doesn't.
Oh, you don't have a team?
Yeah, you don't have the AIs. Apparently, they're gonna put it in later, but it's pretty cool.
I kind of like the AIs.
Damn, later they're gonna add them, but yeah, it just feel like I don't know why it just feel a little better. You're more aware. You're like, oh, guys are here.
So you're not depending on your team, so you gotta be a little bit safer.
Yeah.
You can't just send motherfuckers. Go and kill those motherfuckers.
I like exploring. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm still I still like the previous Ghost Recon.
Yeah, I
kind of think this new one came out too soon, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe because of my sparse gameplay, maybe it's already been 2-3 years since the last Ghost Recon. That's what happened with Just Cause. I was like, why is there a new Just Cause already? And I looked, it was like, oh shit, it's been that long already since Just Cause 3? What the
Yes, no,
fuck,
this
man?
time is just flying, right?
And I think I put over 100 hours into Just Cause 3. Oh, let me see. Hold on.
It's,
I like look the games I really play.
it's an open beta. You can play it to the
Nah,
27th.
I don't have time for that shit. I don't have time to play games that are not in beta. Okay, so Just Cause. Let's see here. Oh, Steam's got a new interface. Holy shit. They changed everything.
They always changing shit.
So my playtime in Just Cause 3 is 59 hours. That's not too bad. 59, though. 59 hours, Freddie. 59. Damn. So that's why I was like, oh, there's a new Just Cause already? Didn't this one just come out? Wait, I got to catch up. There's a ton of messages. Big Boss says, just pissed me off thinking about the lack of games this gen. Triggerman says, PlayStation has been more about great campaigns and seemed to leave the multiplayer to third parties. So if Sony's making great campaigns and leave the multiplayer to third parties, why did they make us pay for PS Plus to play online? Why charge us for online if you're not making online games? I think somebody posed that question on Twitter or whatever. It doesn't really make a lot of sense for Sony to charge you for online if they're not making online games. I don't know. I mean, I guess for third parties, I guess it makes sense. I mean, that's what Xbox has, but Microsoft pretty much has the multiplayer component in all their games. And the one time they tried to Sony a game, which was Quantum Break, no multiplayer, single-player, narrative-driven campaign, nobody fucking bought it. So, no, the Xbox dudes don't want PlayStation-type games. You know? They're still playing Sea of Thieves, so go figure. That game was dead on arrival after I played it.
Oh, my God.
Jamal says, looking at myself, none of my PS5 games don't have multiplayer. It's the case of I want that kid's toys. Interesting. I think you meant to say PS4. Sorry says, what's your opinion of the Breakout beta? No, I haven't played Freddie, but Freddie gave his opinion. So
That's good.
I like Wildlands. I'm going to stick to that for now. And he also said Shenmue is November 19th. Okay, and people said, Versus 13, you dumbass. Dumbass. Okay, so where was I? I want to make sure I get a lot of chatting going on. And Emery says, Gabe said, come at me, Sweeney. The City is a Final Fantasy fighting game. It's like, this motherfucker versus... and Ergeist has some Final Fantasy characters in it. Also, the pre-sequel and Tales of the Bioware. Yes, I know. I have the pre-sequel on Steam. Epic is owned by Tencent, so it's a big market disrupting Chinese money. The real D White said Overwatch. Overwatch is Blizzard. Epic probably assured 2K and Gearbox they'd get some estimate of X months of sales, meaning they did an advance like a book deal. Oh, yeah. Guaranteed sales. Well, of course, if everybody wants to play if you look at Borderlands 2 sales on PC as a whole, and you look at the reviews, and you know everybody wants Borderlands 3 on PC, that's, of course, you can say, well, everybody on PC is going to buy it because our store is going to be the only place they can fucking buy it. So if you really love the game that much, you're going to be willing to buy it on the Epic Store because there's no place else to get it on PC. Unless you're Torrance Davis. I have consoles. There's a reason why I own everything. You know, as much as I hate on the console ecosystem, if you try to fuck me over on PC, guess where I'm going? Straight to console. You know, I wanted to play on PC and do crossplay with my friends on Xbox, but, oh, wait a minute. They didn't put the crossplay feature in yet. I wonder if they didn't have enough people to work on the crossplay because they were working on a single-player campaign. You know? Anyway, so The Last of Us says no multiplayer, but there's hope in the future that it will have multiplayer. Apple in the I think it's been 2-3 weeks since the last Warzone. Since the last Warzone, Apple announced a new game streaming service called Apple Arcade. Now, I'd like to know, out of everybody listening to the show and everybody that saw that announcement, how many of you laughed your ass off? How many of you laughed your ass off when you saw the game offerings that Apple is putting on their game streaming service. Because I'm thinking, oh, Apple's got a great game streaming service now, so they're going to have all those cool games that people have on other systems and PC games and stuff. No, it's these fucking indie little games and maybe some Apple-produced games on this fucking system. I'm looking at the buzz reel for the system, and I'm looking at all this gameplay, and I'm like, where's the games that I've heard of before? Where's the big AAA, third-party games? I ain't seen shit. And I'll be damned if I pay Apple money to play games on some fucking streaming service of theirs. I can't stand Apple's ecosystem. Their fucking cloud and all this shit's all fucked up. I have to deal with this shit every day. I can't stand it. I loved Apple when Steve Jobs was still alive. I can't stand the company now. Can't fucking stand some of the shit that they do. Making you put a credit card on file to download a free app on the App Store still. And all the other bullshit. Oh, we got a new iOS update. Let's move where people have to put the settings for their email. Let's move it and change the name and see if they can find it. It's like a little game. Fuck them. And they're bullshit. So now they're coming out with this game streaming. It's like, really, Apple? You're jumping in this too? You're jumping in this? With Stadia coming, and Stadia plays real games, not just fucking phone games on your TV? Unfucking real. Fuck them. And then these motherfuckers, every year, a new Apple phone comes out. Every year, a new iPhone comes out. Every year, they go up about $200. And you look at it, what do they add to the new phone? Another fucking camera. And it's like, what's the phone, like $1,200, $1,300 for the big dog phone? I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Do you know I can get a Microsoft Surface for that much money and still have some change left over to go to the arcade and get a hamburger? I mean, seriously, you're charging that much for your fucking phone? Like, your phone is it that special? What happened to the sub $1,000 price? I mean, at least at Samsung, they have a pen in their phone and it does cool things. The big dog iPhone isn't doing anything cool. It's not doing anything special. Yeah, you add another fucking pinhole fucking lens, and you want to charge what 12? Wait, let me get the exact price on this thing.
It's actually they didn't charge that more. They didn't go $200 this time.
Are you sure?
Yeah, it's actually cheaper.
Let's see.
It's like $50.
Freddie's rich. Let me see.
I don't pay for the full price of the phone.
Yeah, let's see.
If I do get the phone.
Do you have an iPhone to trade in? No.
I usually just trade it up. I have a trade it up program, so once I trade it,
the iPhone 11. If I get the iPhone 11 and I trade in my existing phone, it's only $400. That's reasonable. If I don't, it's $700. I think that's reasonable pricing, but that's just the 11. Where's the big dog? Hold on, I gotta find
Pro Max.
I gotta find the fucking big
dog. The fucking name is 11 Pro Max.
11 Pro. Let's check it out. Ta-da. $599 with trade-in. With the trade-in, take my existing phone, $599. Right? 2 fun sizes. Okay, so where's buy? Click buy. Let's buy it. Let's buy an iPhone 11 Pro. Okay, I don't have a phone to trade in. $1,000. 1,000 motherfuckers. So you're right about that. But I could have swore there was something. I swear there was something that pushed the price over $1,200.
If you want more, that's just the 64 gigabyte.
Okay, so if I go with like 512 gigabyte.
Yeah, that's when it's like, yeah, fuck you.
Wait, let me just.
And they're only no fucking expandable storage still.
So okay, so the Pro is 1,000, and the Pro Max, which is approximately 0.7 inches larger, is $1,099. Right? What was it last year for the big dog? Was it 1,000?
It's actually 1,200, I think, right?
Yeah, I thought it was up there.
It was like 12.
So did it go down?
I think it went down like $50.
All right. Well, let's add some memory. In this day and age, 64 gig isn't enough for an iPhone. You need at least 128, right? So let's get the 128 gig. Oh wait, there is no 128 gig. So explain this to me, Freddie.
256.
You know how memory works, right? It doubles. So 64. This is how Apple's always done it, right? Used to be 64, 128, 256. Now it's 64. Fuck 128. What do we need that for? Let's go straight to 256, which is $1,249. So you're right. It's $50 more than last year's model. So if you want a little bit more memory in your fucking thing to do shit, because it's a new phone, you're going to be taking 3 pictures now with every click. 4K video, $1,249 for basically a pocket computer. And if you get the 512 gig, $1,500. Now, if I go to Microsoft.com and I want to buy a Surface, a badass Surface to run PC programs, load Steam, and all that shit on it, okay? Let's go. Let's go, Freddie. And we're gonna
can't put it in your pocket, man.
we're gonna get a fucking Surface, and we're gonna get 512 gigs, okay?
With expandable storage.
With expandable storage, I can play Steam on it, and I want to get the new one. I want to get a Surface Pro 6 with a cover.
Did you see the new Note 10? Man, that shit's crazy.
Yeah, the Note 10's dope. I got no qualms about that, other than I'm waiting for the batteries to start exploding. But if I get it,
then okay.
I'm gonna get a Surface Pro 6 with a type cover, and I'm gonna make it. Let's see. Oh, this one only goes up to. Why does this only go? This only goes up to 256 gigs with a Core i5. What do I have to go to get a high? Are they not putting Core i7s in the Surface Pros anymore? I guess I got to go to the laptop. But let's just say right now I go to Microsoft and I want to buy this Surface Pro 6 with a type cover, 256 gigabytes of memory, 8 gigs of RAM, and an i5. It's only going to cost me $999. But it doesn't take pictures. Big fucking deal. I can do a lot more with it. You can't play Steam on a fucking iPhone 11. Can't load your Steam library. You know, it's just, I don't understand where Apple gets off charging that much for their fucking phones. I just don't get it. I'm about to get that Google Pixel 4. They're going to announce it next month. Enough about that. Let's see what we got here. Triggerman says, doesn't the same thing go for Switch Online? No, because Nintendo actually makes multiplayer games. If that's what you're talking about. He says, blame Xbox Live. Oh, yeah, it's definitely Microsoft's fault. They started all this. Triggerman says, I don't watch anything Apple anymore. The iPhone camera and notch is the ugliest design created. Steve Jobs would roll over. Would roll over? He is rolling over, Triggerman. They're noticing that the dirt above his grave is moving. Okay. It's moving because the fucking casket is spinning.
He might come from the next event, come out of his grave like, yo, what the fuck?
He said, sorry, says, do you believe the rumor Sony will be releasing a base and pro model PS5 together at launch? I didn't know that rumor. There's a rumor that they're going to have 2 SKUs. We know
pro.
Wait. Why the fuck would they do that?
I don't think they're going to do that.
Who made that rumor up? That doesn't make any fucking sense. We know why the PS4 Pro came out this generation. They wanted to add more power to their existing unit to do certain things 4K, faster, and louder. Why would you come out with a new console and have 2 SKUs? Why would you make one more powerful than the other? Sony's guaranteed to sell 100 million consoles every single motherfucking generation. I don't care what anybody says. I think their least selling generation was the PS3. I don't even think they didn't sell 100 million PS3s. But still, why the fuck would you need 2 SKUs launch? Please don't do that shit, Sony. Don't do a fucking Xbox. Remember they did that with the fucking Elite? They had the Elite in the regular Xbox. But didn't the Elite come out after? I don't think they released them at the same time, right?
Yeah, they came after.
Yeah, like I can't see putting 2 SKUs out there. You're gonna connect yourself.
Like the one came out without the hard drive, and one came out with the hard drive.
That's how. That's just fucking insane.
Yeah.
Let's see, we got a lot of stuff in here.
Ruben, what are they gonna do? One with a slower SSD, then one with a faster SSD, or some shit like that.
Ruben says, Choo Choo Rocket. Choo Choo Rocket from the Dream. Yes, that was multiplayer. Yeah, when they had online, you got Choo Choo Rockets for free. We played that shit. He says, John Saw loves the iPhone cam. From a technological point of view, I think the iPhone camera is cool, but I'm not paying that much fucking money for it. I just... everybody, people can do what they want with their money. Me, personally, fuck iPhone. I have to use an iPhone for work, and I fucking hate it. I fucking hate it. I have to support that shit. I fucking hate it. Will some big company please start using Androids? Please start using Androids instead of iPhones. Emery says, Emery be typing dissertations. Emery says, I got a Samsung A20 International for $81, and it's an awesome budget smartphone for pay-as-you-go. Big, nice screen, high contrast, and has a decent camera. Does a good job with Netflix when you're stuck in some place with free wiki or Wi-Fi like an airport. I love it. Yeah, it's a big old man phone. That's almost a phablet, but I like it. I put a 256 megabyte micro SD in there to go with 128 in the phone, and it's fine. Only things I don't like is some apps fuck up. That's how Android works until you can turn them off. Yep. I see it for 120 on Amazon, so 81 was a decent bargain. And Ruben's saying history is repeating itself. Yeah, exactly. This next generation is going to start with a remaster. I guarantee it.
Yep.
So Emery's showing pictures of his phone. This dude gets down.
Cell phones.
Whoa, Choo Choo Rocket is on Apple Arcade? Or are you making jokes? He's making jokes. He's got to be making jokes. a lot of people in here have no idea what the fucking Choo Choo Rockets is. They think we're fucking crazy. Is that some child's game?
He said no joke.
Choo Choo Rockets was the shit. And Triggerman says, I would prefer a high-end console. Yeah, if you're going to spend the money, get a fucking high-end console. I'm going to be sitting here with wet-looking buttered popcorn when these consoles come out. I am going to be sitting. I will not be at a store buying them because I know there's no way that Sony or Microsoft or anybody can make a game that's only on console that makes me go out and spend money on it. And I have the fucking money now. I have the money. Okay? That's the funny thing. At this point in life, I am making more money than I've made my entire career.
But what did they put the VR big fish in with a wrist and rod?
Freddie, I am a fucking boss now, okay? Like, I have enough money to buy HTC Vive and Oculus, and I haven't even bought them yet.
You don't got time, or you just don't want to buy
no,
shit?
You know what happens when people, like, start making money? Like, let's talk. I'm not rich, but let's take a look at rich people. Rich people don't buy shit because it's not feasible. It doesn't make sense in their budget. I'm that dude now. It doesn't make sense for me to get a fucking VR system.
Yeah.
I could literally go and buy it. It doesn't make fucking sense, and I have the money to do it.
Well, how about you buy me one, and then it makes sense.
So when these new consoles, Freddie, you're rolling harder than I am. You got fucking 16K TVs and everything. So when these new consoles come out, I'm just gonna sit back and watch. I'm gonna have my news feeds open. I'm gonna watch the fanboys. I'm watching everybody. I'm gonna see the things, the fanboy talking points that are gonna happen next gen. Is it gonna be power? Is it gonna be graphics? Is it gonna be exclusive? What's gonna happen? It's all gonna be entertaining to me, and I don't have to report on it. I'm just gonna sit back and watch and laugh. And when I want to talk about it, I'll get on the throwdown or something, or maybe I'll do a Ranosaurus. Who fuck knows? But they're not getting me next gen. They would have to make the dopest game ever. You know what? You know what would make? I got the game. You know what would make? I have a game in my head that I want to make, and only old school kung fu movie dudes will understand this. If they made an exclusive Shaw Brothers or Shaw Brothers like kung fu game for either of the consoles, I'd fucking buy a console. That's the only game that's gonna get me out there to buy a console. If they make a fucking Shaw Brothers fucking game. Okay, with all the sound effects, all the bad dubbing, all that cool music, and the storylines. If they make a Shaw Brothers fucking fighting game, it doesn't even have to be fighting. It could be fighting. It could be single player narrative Shaw Brothers where you train, you learn kung fu, and you avenge your master or whatever. And they make it, and it's actually like a Shaw Brothers movie. I will run to the fucking store, buy that console, and buy that game. That is the only game that would get me to get a next-gen console. The only game. Keep that in mind. Because somebody's going to see on it. Hey, they're making that fucking charm on this game. You got to get a new console, man. Which one are you getting, the PS5 or the Xbox 2? I'm like, what? What do you mean they're making this game? But that's the only game that's going to do it for me. There's nothing anybody can produce to make me buy a console. There's nothing. And if it's on PC, you know it ain't happening. Triggerman says, Red Gaming Tech thinks that the Pro model would be the base model and that the base would be a streaming console. Triggerman says to Saris, they're having a conversation here. Microsoft backed away from their streaming console. Some countries are not ready for streaming today. Streaming only. I think there will be a $499 base and a $599. Not if they don't get this China fucking trade shit fixed. We're talking $700. Although your pricing seems right. I don't think Sony or Microsoft can get away with a $399 console this gen. There's just no way. With the things that they're supposed to do with this console, we're talking 16 gigs of RAM from the jump, plus the latest and greatest chips from AMD. There's no way they can release these consoles for $399. There's no fucking way. I would be mind blown. I was mind blown when they did last gen. I'd be super mind blown if they released these consoles at $399. Even $499 would be mind blowing. But you know, Sony's always released their shit at $399, and when they didn't release their shit at $399, what happened? They didn't get 100 million. They struggled all gen to pass Microsoft. So we'll see what happens. Let's see. No joke. Mike says, do you have enough money to start a website? I don't understand the question. You could start a website basically free. Mike, can you elaborate on that question? It doesn't make sense. I don't know if you're trolling, joking, or you really just don't know how much it costs to start a website, because it really doesn't cost a lot of money. You can pretty much, if you want to start a website, you can start a website for $20, because you got to register a domain. If you want to register a domain, $20 to register a domain and get some space, some hosting space, and you got a website. So I don't understand. Do you have enough money to start a website? I don't get it. What are you talking about, Mike? I know you're listening. I still see you in the chat. What do you mean? I don't know what you mean. Let's see. He meant OnlyFans. OnlyFans back to... I don't know. Whatever. Okay. Spidey's back in the MCU. Sony won that fight. I guess Disney gets 25% on all the movies. Spider-Man will be in one more MCU movie. And the new Spider-Man Going Back Home, third chapter in the Home series will be created. And it will be a collaboration between Sony and Disney. Sony won that fight, and I'm glad they did, because Disney got really fucking greedy. And the thing is, Disney got greedy to spite themselves, because Spider-Man isn't in the MCU. It's going to piss off all your fucking MCU fans. And they're going to go to Sony to see Spider-Man, just like they did Venom. Didn't Venom make like $1 billion? Big Boss says, sell me your camera for $10 and buy you a new one, you rich Nick. I already bought a new one, so I can't do film and video on the same camera. So what I have here is a Fuji XD3, a Fujifilm XD3, which I bought recently. I got a pretty good deal on that because I know somebody who can give me a huge discount on the camera. So he used his yearly discount and got me the camera, which was pretty nice of him, and the lens. Here's my Panasonic vlogging camera that I still use. Yeah. I think Big Boss is starting his own porn company, so he needs a camera. Sorry says, I'm expecting at least $499 with a $100 loss for each console at the beginning, Tor. Oh, I'm still on the $599 train. Why is it that Apple can charge $1,200 motherfucking dollars for a fucking phone, but Sony and Microsoft have to lose money on their fucking consoles? That much money. Sell me that shit without the dick pics on it. Oh shit. Oh, this dude, he just comes to troll me now, get me to laugh at shit. Niggas always want to show off their new ish. You brought it up. I was just showing you I already bought the new camera. COD Modern Warfare Impressions. I played Modern Warfare. It seems like with each iteration they're actually getting better with the graphics, because I thought Black Ops 4 looked really good in the graphics department. This one looks just as good, if not better. They're finally up to Battlefield Bad Company looking graphics, which is good for a Call of Duty game. That's not a diss at all, because Battlefield Bad Company 2 looked dope. The gameplay is fun. It does bring me back to the original Modern Warfare games. I already pre-ordered it. It's the first Call of Duty I've bought since Ghost. I bought Ghost for both the Xbox and PlayStation during that time because, shit was popping off, and I wanted to see how the games were on both consoles. So I haven't bought a Call of Duty since 2013, and I bought Call of Duty Modern Warfare. I pre-ordered it on PC. Love the cross-play features. It's nice to see PlayStation and Xbox gamers with mouse and keyboard in the same room. I would like them to make a room where adults can make adult decisions, and if they want to use a controller to play against mouse and keyboard people, they can as a challenge. They should give us that option. Whether you guys think it's stupid or it's a waste of time, they should give us the option to be able to play against, to allow keyboard, mouse, and controller players to play together. I'm the type of guy that would go in with a controller just to see how it is. Anyway, Triggerman says Sony is going to wait until Xbox releases their prices and then undercut them slightly. I don't think that's going to happen. It's kind of tough for a company to change the projected price. If you think about it, these companies go through projections when they release new consoles. So Sony's going to have a meeting. Okay, here's PlayStation 5. Here are our projected sales at this base price that we want to sell it for. And E3 is a couple weeks from now, so they go to E3. Microsoft announces they're just going to take $100 off the price. It doesn't work like that, Triggerman. Does not work like that. Okay? Case in point, the last E3 where consoles were announced, when Sony announced their PlayStation 4 at $399, they had planned to announce it at $399. That was the price. The only reason Xbox was $100 more is because they included the Kinect, like the bitches they were. If Microsoft didn't include a Kinect, it would have been $399. As a matter of fact, if Microsoft didn't include the Kinect from the outset and sold it at $399, they would have sold more consoles. That was part of the reason why Sony beat them, was the sticker price. That was part of the reason. Why pay an extra $100 for a lower power console because it has a camera that I'm not going to use? So if they just took the Kinect out and made it an option and had it for $399, I think Xbox would have sold more consoles from the outset. So that's that. Anything else, Frederick? Freddie, did you leave? Don't be a bitch. Let's see. Where's that big? Oh, he fell asleep or something. It was Mike.
Hello.
Did I cover it all? Is there anything else?
I'm going to New York Comic Con next week.
Oh yeah, how'd you get in?
Same way. Still works.
Shut the fuck up and play.
Yep.
Well, you're representing. Now now they're gonna say, here you need to sign this that you're gonna publish some content on your YouTube page or whatever. What are you gonna do if they make you do content?
I don't know. I'll do some content.
Torrance, I need your help. Torrance, I need your help.
You got this sword.
I got all this footage on my phone. I don't know what to do, man. The girl, the cosplay, the titties. I don't know what to do. Ruben says, I think $500 is the highest anyone who isn't a hardcore gamer would pay for a new console, and that's pushing it. Sony beat them with the games. Sony definitely beat them with the games, but Microsoft beat themselves in 2013. Because Sony didn't have the games in 2013. Poor Angry Joe, they lied right to his face. We can't take Kinect out, Joe. Of course they lied to his face. Because that's what the business was telling them to do. You can't say, hey, Joe, we can take the Kinect out, and then have everybody say, so why the fuck do I have to have it? That's just the way it works. It's business. It's crazy. It is crazy, motherfuckers. Crazy. Up, time to switch to the Jesus Cam. Whoa, something just hit me. I'm about to fall asleep. Holy shit. What's going on? Hey, everybody. Thank you for coming to episode 395. I'll see you maybe next week if something amazing happens this week, or else the shows will be sparse until 400. All right? So, thank you for all your support, and I'll see you on the next stream. Peace out.